Okay, it's time to make the base now, and I'm going to make it out of a 3-inch diameter stalk, and I'll make it about a 1/4 inch thick. And I got all my drawings set up here for that. Okay, got a piece here cut off with a bandsaw, ready to go. In order to get the center of this here, what I'll do is I'll put this in my milling machine in the vise, and I will come off the edge of the vise to establish the middle point. That was a 7/64 inch bit, 1/8 inch reamer. I'll be used as a lineup tool. Okay, now to fit the live center. Okay, that's going to fit good for the tailstock. Okay, I have double stick tape on the jaws. My 1/8 inch reamer is now being used as a lineup tool. Slide everything in now. Okay, now I have my tailstock in there and the live center in there. That holds everything tight to there now, and that's ready to start the machine on the face here. Now, because I don't have a lot of room between here and here, I have to cut about halfway on this here, and then turn the tool post around a little bit more, and then they catch this side and keep on coming out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show how I'm going to touch off here and get that established, and then when I go to turn this out to here, whenever I touch off into here, I should be pretty close to that same depth. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so now this is as far as I can go on this, so what I need to do now is I need to turn the tool bit this way here, bring my cross slide in until I'm touching right down there. I'm touching now, so I'll bring it back a little bit now so that I'm not touching, and then I'll swing my tool post over there and then lock it. Now that I have that lock there, I will now pull this way, and then I will touch off on the finished edge right here and set my stop right here. Now I'll end up on this here finished edge here when I go to machine this. Okay, I got another about 5 thousandths to go yet. Okay, that's the first face done. Turn it over and do the second face on your side now. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm establishing my final thickness, which I'm looking for about 250 thousandths of an inch in thickness. And now that I got that established, now I can go back inside here and start machining to that thickness there on the outside by again turning my tool bit in and pulling back this direction until I touch off there. Okay, so a little bit of a ridge there yet to go yet. This should be the finishing pass here now. That's it. Feels a lot better now. It's okay. Okay, now that I have everything set up and laid here, this is now parallel with this, and I have about 28 thousandths of an inch run out from how it was put in here. And so what I'll do is I'll machine that down now and get that running true, and I'll have the diameter true, and I'll have everything here true, and everything will be trued up with itself now. That's coming up next. There's no need for tape this time because I already had it flat on the side here. That was the finished side on here, so it held nice without any tape. Okay, there's the workpiece. Okay, I still have the two hubs in the middle that I want to get rid of, so I just put my outside gripping jaws on. That gives me a better grip on the large piece here now, and I can just go inside here and just machine these off now. Okay, the workpiece is now prepped and ready to be worked on to do the profile and cutting. And that's what we're going to work on next here, to do the profile cuttings on my rotary table again. That's coming up next. Okay, there's both of these here made now. And so the next thing to do now is to make the holes in here that will be used for locating holes. And that will be done on my rotary table now. Okay, I just finished drilling and reaming this with a reamer that's 1/1000th of an inch over 250, and I have drill rod here that I use for my locating pins, and so I cut a piece of drill rod here, and this will be used as my locating pin, and that fits in there really nice for location. So what I will do now is I'll put this on my rotary table and use this pin in the drill chuck of the milling machine here, and then I'll use that to line up this. Okay, I have my rotary table lined up with the center of the spindle now, so now what I'll do is I'll put the workpiece in the vise now. Okay, what I'm doing now is I have the drill rod in here as a locator, and I'm letting my clamps here loose. So what I'll do now is I will bring the bring this down until I'm inside, until I'm located inside here, like that. Okay, so now I'm inside there. Now what I can do is I can tighten up the bolts now, and I'll be located properly. Okay, so now I'm properly located here. The bolts are down nice and tight, so everything's nice and tight. So now this hole in here is in the center of the spindle. And so now, according to the drawing here, I need to come over. The radius is 1.1 inches from the center here over to the center holes that I'm going to be drilling here. And these holes I'm drilling are for locating pins. You'll see how that comes about later on. So I need 1.1 inches now. And so what I'll do is I'll use my dial indicator here, set that up, and move my x-axis of the table this direction here, 1 inch and 100 thousandths. To get the location to start drilling in here. I won't be able to drill all the way through I'll be able to spot drill here, but I'm going to take it to my drill press because I don't have very much room between here and here to get my longer drills in here as well as the reamer. So that will be done on my drill press later on, but right now I can get it lined up and get my rotary table going here, and I can go every 90 degrees using my rotary table and get it spot in here with the spot drills. And once I get those holes located, then I can do it with my drill press. Okay, now that I have this moved over 1 inch, 100 thousandths, the next thing on the order here would be to turn my rotary table until I'm back on the 0 mark here. So that being on the 0 mark, I have a reference I can work off of to go 90 degrees for every time I go to drill in here. I can then go every 90 degrees on this here. Okay, so now ready to start spot drilling this here. Okay, 90 degrees. And do it again. Okay, I got my vise over here on the drill press. I'm letting my vise again loose. And what I do is I just let the bit come down, and I let the bit move the vise where it needs to be to get it lined up. It's a little bit here, and I start it, and the vise moves itself, and now the bit centers itself in the drill hole, in the center drill hole. I'm holding the camera with one hand here, so I'm going to have to put this down pretty soon. Okay, there we go. And then I'll just keep on going this way here. Make the table a little bit. So over here. And just keep on going about like that. When it comes to precision fitting, what I'm going to do now is ring these holes to fit this here drill rod right here, 1/4 inch. When it comes to precision fitting, I like to use my under-over reamers first. I start with the smallest one, the 1/1000th of an inch smaller. I do that first, and then I'll fit the pin and see if the pin will fit or not. Make sure it doesn't fit, and then I'll go to the actual 1/4 inch and then check to fit, and then I'll go to the 1/1000th over, and then that should allow this to slide through properly. This is coming up. Okay, that's the 1/1000th under size. And just double check here, make sure. Okay, good, the pin does not go in. And that's the 1/1000th of an inch over 250. And that's fitting nice now. And all these. Nice sliding fit. So now we have everything we need for location holes now. Okay, it's now time to do the rotary table work here. Do these here profiles right here. I'm going to do this here profile here first. Down here. So I'm going to use a piece of plywood. I like to use these for my jigs, for fixtures. And I'm going to place this on top of here. And there's going to be a center of the rotary table. That's going to be a certain distance from here. As I look at that, I see that that is 0.89 from the center of the workpiece to the outside edge here. And then the center of this, the radius, is another 0.82. So I add these two together, and that will give me my center of the rotary table to cut this profile right here. Okay, so that distance from the center of the workpiece to the center of the rotary table will be 1.71 inches. So 1 inch 710 thousandths I will move my rotary table. Once I get it centered here on the rotary table, I will then move it to put a pin here to put the center of the workpiece, and that will give me my radius necessary to cut this profile. Okay, altogether it looks like I'm going to need to drill 4 locating holes. This one here for the center of the rotary table, this for the center of the workpiece, and then 2 others here for the lineup pins for the workpiece. I have on my rotary table, I have a piece of plywood here now fastened down tight. I'm now centered up in the center of the rotary table, so that'll be the first hole, will be for the center of the rotary table. That'll be the first pin. Okay, there's my 3 locating pins. This one here is to locate the center of the rotary table, so that whenever I move my table to different places, I can come back to this and zero indicate off of this pin here, and that will give me the center of the rotary table. This one here is the center of the workpiece, and this is a indexing pin here to index on these holes here. So I will drop it here and then move it until it catches on the center, and so now it's located. And I come over here, and then I'll be able to do my machining across here like this. That's the first set of formations to do. And then again I'll index it like that, line it up on the center here, and of course I'll put 2 screws in here, one here and one here to hold it tight, and then I'll do my machining. Okay, that's coming up next. Okay, now I got the workpiece screwed down nice and tight here. Now back over here again. What we have now is I have my workpiece centered under the spindle, which is right here. I now need to bring my table x-axis again 0.89 inches from the center here out to the profile line right here, but that's the center of the profile line. So once I get it there, then I'll figure out what cutter I'm going to use, and I'll take half that diameter and come further that direction yet further. But right now I need to go 0.89 to get me to this here profile center line here now. Okay, I got a small little Dremel V cutting bit in there right now just to give me make a line. So I'm just going to check this out right now and see where I'm at. So that's for measurements. Okay. Now I'll measure that from the center here to there and just make sure I got the 0.89 I'm looking for. Okay, and that checks out good. So what I'll do now is I will just establish a line across here with this here little bit, and then I will decide on what cutting tool I want to use, and then take half that diameter further so that I can come work up to that line. And that's what's coming up next. Now the table is completely locked in position. The X and Y axes are both locked in position. I'm going to unlock the rotary table, and then I'll start turning it. Position. And now I have a line established here, and I can now get what bit I want to use to do the actual cutting, and come half that distance past that, and then work from there. Alright, that's coming up next. Okay, I'm going to try to use one of my 2 flutes, 1/8 inch end mills. I just moved it over 63 thousandths of an inch, so now I'm on my edge of my bit is on the edge of the line here. And we'll see how that works. Okay, that's all cut out there. I'll take these screws out, and I'll index it to the next hole, and then to the next one. Okay, now using a small 1/8 inch end mill, because a tool flex causes a lot of ridges in here on the cuts here. Every time I went through there, the bit would pull itself in, and it would cause a ridge. So to get rid of these ridges, what I did is I put the put it back on the plate here, and I'm using a 4 flute end mill, a very solid 3/8 inch end mill now, 4 flute. And all I'm going to do is touch off now on the workpiece, and then I'm going to climb mill across here to clean up these edges. It does a real nice job cleaning that up. That's the before right there, and the after. Okay, I'll finish the rest of these up now. Okay, now that we have this profile done on the inside curves here, the last part of the profile now is the outside curve. This here outside curve here pretty much follows the outside of the workpiece. So the center of the of this curvature is right in the center of itself now. This one here, the radius was on the outside of the workpiece. Here, the radius is right within its own area here. So therefore, all I need to do is just put this on the center of the rotary table. I'll put that in the center rotary table, touch off the end here, and then just go back and forth here to clean up these corners to bring that into a round radius. I just have to tap this here down a little bit because that's up too high now. But there's no need for any kind of locating pins because the center of the rotary table becomes the center of the rotary table becomes the location now for this part. So I can just put 2 screws here and here now and go for it. Okay, so now I'm on center of the pin here. All I gotta do now is just move either my X or Y axis, and I think I'm gonna move the X axis over this way and touch off over here. So all I gotta do now is just line up a little bit here, move the X axis over, bring this down, and then touch off this edge. So right there I'm touching off. Set my depth, bring it up, and begin the process here. I'm going to put the fire. Let's see what we got. Okay, it's coming along. Okay, here we have the before and the after. Okay, so that there's this here is done on the machining part this way here. So I have this one to do now, and then all the rotary table work for the bottom plate will be done. And then the next thing will be to drill the holes here to get prepared for the post going inside there, which will probably be threaded into that there. But that there's a profile for this here, according to our drawing here. So we can now move on to the next step now.